All right, it's Q&A with Aaron. It's happy Friday. Today we're just going to answer the questions, whatever questions that were submitted throughout the course of the week, taking the time to answer those. So if you have any questions and you want me to answer it for you or attempt to answer it for you, please click the link at the top of the page, submit a question in that form, and I will go ahead and take the time to answer your question. So we'll get started right now. First question came from Rebecca. Rebecca asked, I'm trying to follow a low-carb diet, but I have very little energy. What should I do? Rebecca, that's a great question. It all depends on the amount of what carbs that you're eating. Are you eating complex carbohydrates, carbs that take a while to break down, slow delivery of energy to your body like pastas, rice, grains, cereals, oatmeals, things of that sort? Or are your carbs coming from another source like quick breaking down, simple carb like fruits? If you're looking for that quick burst of energy, you're going to want your carbs to come from fruits. So like an apple, if you have an apple or you have an orange or a banana, that's a simple sugar, a simple carbohydrate, that's going to break down quickly in your body and provide a quick boost of energy. So you need to understand the differences between the carbohydrates that you're consuming. If you want that energy and that quick burst of energy, so say like at 3 o'clock, you start to feel your body start to become tired and lethargic, have an apple with your meal, have an orange with your meal. That might help you boost your energy level. So give that a try. So cancel out some of those complex carbohydrates and substitute some of those simple carbohydrates with whatever diet plan that you're attacking right now. All right, so good question, Rebecca. The second question comes from Sarah. She asks, I have a tough time drinking protein shakes because of the way they taste. Is there any way to make them taste good? Sarah, you just gave me a great idea for In the Kitchen with Aaron. What I'm going to do is I'll actually, Sarah, I'll address this and I'll put out a nice episode of protein shakes that you can have post-workout and the protein shakes that you can have in terms of meal substitutes. There's a lot of different things that you can do with protein shakes. I know when you read the outside of the carton it says mix it with ice and water or mix it with juice and ice. What you can also do is you can have fruits in there, you can throw vegetables in there, you can throw things in there to offset that texture of the protein powder to make it to where it's like a fruit smoothie so you wouldn't even know that you have protein in there. But what I'll do, Sarah, is I'm going to actually put out some protein recipes in the kitchen with Aaron. So keep your eyes peeled for that and I'll dedicate that session to you. All right, great question. Next question comes from Allison. She asks, I always seem to put on weight when I go on vacation. Can you suggest a strategy or plan to avoid this? Allison, again, anytime you go on vacation or you go to a party, you go to a cookout, it's going to boil down to you controlling your indulgences. So it's your portion control and the frequency that you consume food can become quite large when you go on vacation. What you want to do is, say, with dinner or with breakfast, you decide to have a mimosa and a creme brulee for dessert. Try to skip dessert for your lunch and your dinner that night. You don't need to have dessert for every single meal just because they offer it. So because they offer food and they offer desserts and they offer these sweets, you don't have to necessarily have them again. So you need to control your urges in moderation. Okay, so I'm not telling you to eliminate these foods. I'm just telling you to control these foods in moderation, and that'll be your best way from avoiding putting on 3 pounds a week, 4 pounds a week. Some people put on 5, 6 pounds a week. So again, just control those urges. Good question. The last question comes from Megan. Megan asks, I love eating out, but I don't really know what to order that is healthy and supports me reaching my goals. Any advice? Megan, with eating out, the biggest thing that you want to avoid any fried foods. Fried foods in restaurants are just soaked with saturated fats, and I know that they say they don't use vegetable oil that have trans fats, but I used to work in the restaurant industry, and I know that's not always true. So you do want to avoid the fried foods. Any foods that are loaded with oils, that are loaded in marinade, that are loaded in all this fattening stuff, you want to go ahead and avoid those as well. What I do when I go to out to eat, I ask them, I say, well, what do you soak your chicken in? What do you marinate your chicken in? Some places, soak it overnight in grapeseed olive oil. If it's sitting in a marinade for overnight, that chicken breast is just going to be loaded and saturated with fat. Some places will say, oh no, we take our chicken breast right out and we put a little nice dry rub on it and it's grilled up that way. So ask and inquire into the way that they cook the foods so that you understand what you're putting into your body. So biggest rule of thumb, avoid the fried foods, and then just find out how they cook the grilled chicken or how they, they saute the vegetables, okay? They saute it in a butter sauce. Try to ask them to saute it in just water. These places will do it for you. So that's a good rule of thumb for you to be able to eat healthy when you go out for dinner. Again, ladies, I hope I addressed all your questions. Anybody out there who has these questions or has questions similar to this and you want to get answered, please click the link at the top of the page. Again, please click the link. I'll take the time to answer your questions, and that's what this whole Friday is for. So until next Friday, I want you to have a great weekend. Go have a great fun time. Do something fun. Do something different. Exercise and eat healthy, okay? So I'll see you next week.